Welcome to the Sunshine Study. I am thrilled to be with you. If you're just joining us, please say hello. It's wonderful to have your comments. It helps a lot with the algorithm. So if you could just say hello, that would be beautiful. I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Life Joy Coach and author, and I help brilliant people transform their burnout into balance so that they have more blessings in life. They're more confident, more capable, more joyous, and lead a lighter, richer and more joyous life. Leslie, Guy, it's wonderful to be with you. I'm wriggling on my seat. Forgive me, I shall try and sit still. I have the guest for you. I cannot wait to share her goodness with you. Rachel, go, my treasure. It's wonderful to have you. Welcome. I have a superstar guest for you with an Olympic brain, loving soul and a vibrant mind and a loving heart. So I cannot wait to share. I'm hoping that she'll... Alison Bailey, wonderful headlight. Alison put headlights details on, and I've got something wonderful to share with you. I'll send you a message. Good afternoon. That's very formal, Leslie, very lovely. I'm just waiting for our special guest to join us. Welcome to the Sunshine Study, and this is something my special guest made. It is my prized possession. Look, it's a cushion. It's a thing of beauty. It's an ornament. It's not to be used. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. But I just thought I'd let you see that and see the joy of their soul manifested in wool. Now, welcome everybody who's just joining us. Please say hello. It's lovely to be with you. I am waiting for our special guest to join us. Please hold caller Anna Wilson. Bring them on video. We are sending an invitation. I cannot wait. Kirsty! So pleased. Yeah, Kirsty, you will love this. We are coming. I think we're adding, our special guest is here. I cannot wait to share her. She's one of my favorite people on the planet, and she has so much to share, and she is here.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
My treasure, we can hear you. I am thrilled. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? It's lovely to be with you all. Fabulous. I'm glad it's not been chewed up by Christy.
Christy, it's an ornament, darling. It will never go near Christy.
It's lovely to be with you all. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my tips for being self-employed today. So take it away, Becca. How do you want to format this?
Oh, well, I see, you know all the words and all the things. You just go shine, my treasure.
Well, I'm Anna. Lots of you already know me. I can see names and faces that I know. If you don't know me, I'm Anna. I'm the bird behind Virtual Bird, and I basically am obsessed with admin. Anything that you hate, I absolutely adore. Spreadsheets, websites, just massively nerdy stuff. Clients call me their business fairy, wing woman, wizard, business doula, all kinds of names, and I basically just want to help people deal with the stuff that they don't want to deal with, basically. I do tech, basically. I'm a tech nerd. Hi Kirsty, it's lovely to see you. Tech's my thing, so whatever tech, if you've got any tech questions while I'm here, feel free to pop them in the comments and I'll help you if I can. I've worked with Becca for a year, just over a year. She has absolutely changed my life. So if you need any help with your burnout or life strategies or coping with adulting, Becca is your person. She's just been an absolute delight. I cannot recommend working with Becca enough. So Becca brings me joy. That's my joy. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm not great at talking about myself, so you'll have to forgive me.
Oh, you're too humble, but thank you. I told you not to mention us. It's fine. Today is about you. But I have rarely known anybody with such, and this is a powerful combination, and I often talk to clients about having an Olympic brain and a loving soul. And when you put those two things together, you are a powerhouse of goodness. And really, you know, lots of genius brain goes on there, but actually it's your kindness and your intention. When we first met and we had an hour of tech, we ran over miles because you said, don't worry, we'll sort that. And to me, that was invaluable, because not only did you know everything, about everything. I mean, really, seriously, I was just astonished. And you took it in such calmness. All the tech that we worry about, you know, the MailChimp, the websites, and then all the myriad of other things that come with this, how to do social media, how to run a business, because your business strategy is mega. So really, there's a big brain there, but it's bursting with loving care. So if you're self-employed, one of your posts last week said everybody needs an Anna. Well, my goodness, I often think, well, I'll just ask Anna. I'll just ask Anna. It's like a website in itself. But the business of you liking all those things and loving spreadsheets gives everybody else peace, I think, especially when they're self-employed.
Thank you.
And it really
Well,
and you said to me, and this was amazing, you said to me, tech isn't hard.
it's not. And you know what? Having been in business for almost a decade, which makes me sound very, very old. I've been doing this since I left full-time education, and it's a massive misconception that tech is hard and it's difficult and it's this big scary thing, and it's not. It's just how you explain it to people. And if you take away the big scariness of tech and business and all of the hard things about being self-employed, it's actually really, really simple when you break it down.
Yes, that's your clever brain, because what you do is have this enormous wealth of knowledge and you funnel it down, and then you give us 3 bits of homework to do, and it's easy and it's joyous. So now I like tech. You've done it. You've won.
I don't even need to help you with your tech anymore, because you can do it all, and that really is my goal. I don't want people to be dependent on me. I want them to have the confidence that if they need to, they can do it themselves. I help people to save them time, but I don't want them to not know what's going on and not know how to do it themselves, because I think when you're in business, it's important to understand what you're paying people how to do.
Yes.
To an extent. I mean, I'm not saying everyone needs to be able to understand how to code and algorithms and interpret statistics. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying at a fundamental level, it's important, in order to have autonomy in your business, to understand the fundamentals behind it.
Yes, and you're an outstanding teacher. I don't know if I've ever said that to you, but what you do is you take the sting and the fear out of it, and you say, this is simple, you can easily do that. And as soon as you do that to students, as it were, we just grow an inch or two and we think maybe we could. And I think the thing that isn't, I mean, there's so many layers to what you do, but you know, if you're at a certain level in your business and you need superstar VA, that's you. But if you need a website building, you can do that. If you need your email list, if you need your marketing, if you need your background invoicing, admin, things that frighten everybody, Anna just does it. So I think it's that breadth of service and the calmness that you offer and your integrity, darling, but also, you know, the delightful ease that you just pick up all these loads off people's shoulders and it's just, there you are, job done.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the top tips, you'll kind of see the ethos of how I work, because I want to be useless. So if I can set up a system that will do my job for me, so you don't need to pay me, I will do that. I'm not going to do something for the sake of doing something, which will never make me a millionaire, but it serves people to the best of my ability. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, and do things that can be done by software or automations, or, you know, we've got so much AI stuff now that there are parts of my job that are redundant, and I like that, because it saves these grassroots startups, small businesses, money at the end of the day. But that's not to say that investing isn't worthwhile, but you might as well invest it in the right place, something that can't be done by a computer, that can't be automated, which is completely backwards for other VAs in my industry.
Yes, and
but it is what it is.
I think the other thing is that you said to me the other day, and this is very apparent, is that you are constantly training, constantly learning. It never stops. And also the interesting thing is that I always think that your business acumen, so you can look at somebody's business and you can take them from nothing to getting going, and from getting going to being stable, and from being stable to grow. And that's a rare thing. You're not just answering somebody's emails or doing their social media for them. You are with them and at their side. And that's a really magnificent thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the constant feedback I get from my clients. It's not, oh, my social media is great. It's not, oh, my website looks awesome. It's, I'm so glad I've got an Anna in my pocket, because it's so much more than tech. It's about enabling my clients to live and to succeed and to have a life and not be sat up at night stressing and or having a launch and something goes wrong. And it's just like, I'm just quietly there. One of my clients said the other week, quietly there, just picking things up, just fixing them, and letting my clients get on with their life. And that's the thing that's the most important to me. And to go back to what you said about training, I'm always training, because you have to be. You have to constantly be on the pulse with technology, and my training means that my clients don't have to worry about it. It's dealt with. It's simple, because a lot of this training's full of fluff.
Yes. Yeah.
And you need to dig through the fluff to find the actual implementable important things, which is those little bits of homework that I give to my clients. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do.
Lovely. Well, you do it with such grace. That's the word. No, there's lots of clever people in the world and we need them, but clever and kindly hearted souls just save the world a bit. So tell us also, what brings you joy?
You. So before I had you, I was all kinds of screwed up and suicidal thoughts, and I had no purpose and I had no direction. And there wasn't really much joy. And then I got a Becca.
Oh, Trish, am I crying now?
Don't cry. You're not allowed to cry, because I will cry. Obviously, you know, I had things like my husband and my family, but on a day-to-day basis, I couldn't see the joy through the darkness. And working with you has enabled me to kind of climb out of the hole and see the little bits of joy in the world, and be out in the world and enjoy those little bits of joy. So you brought me joy.
No.
So
it was all there, darling. It was all there. You just needed to amplify that light. That's really what it is. You don't give me the credit. The credit is yours. I just like being along with you for the ride. There's the other thing.
We have a laugh, don't we? If it's nothing else.
We have joy.
We do have joy. We absolutely do. And I guess that's one of my top tips is support. You know, and it's not, you enable me to do my job to the best of my ability. But having, even away from you, you know, business groups, and Ryan's really supportive, and it's really, really key that you're not in your own head, even if it's just to say, oh, it's a bit slow this month, and then somebody else to say, well, have you tried that? And you go, actually, I haven't. And it's bouncing off people, and I think when you're self-employed, it can be really, really lonely.
Yes.
So having that sounding board can be absolutely vital, and you know, working with you doesn't just fix my brain, it keeps me focused on business.
Oh, well, so, but also I think the level of your wider contribution, Wendy Betts just joined us, lovely to have you. And also to remember that being self-employed, you can be a bit self-employed. I think there's a level here of people think it's all or nothing and you have to work all the time. You know, my first goal was to earn £20 a week. That it was so minuscule, it was laughable. But I was very sick, and £20 a week was what I could manage. And actually, it started at £20 a month, and then it was £20 a week. And small goals are powerful. So you are the queen of top tips. So you have. So now here's the point. Anna didn't just come here today. I mean, I wanted her to come here because I wanted you to know her and love her. I wanted you to hear her story. I wanted you to learn from the tech, because there's nothing like it. I wanted you to know that tech is easy, but also she came prepared to help. She came prepared with her top tips. So Shine off with them, my darling. Go on. These are good. These are good whether you're self-employed or not.
Well, I've just read one of the comments. Someone called Leslie Guy has put, sounds very exciting. I just need a business idea and some talent. And she also says Becca has wings hidden under her shirt. That I absolutely agree with. If you want to be self-employed, everyone has something that they can do to turn into a business. Everyone has got some sort of talent or some sort of skill that they can use to help make themselves money. So you have talent, Leslie, I promise you. And that whatever that talent is will turn into a business idea. And if you need some sounding board for that, feel free to message me and let's have a chat. No like obligation or anything, but I'm really good at bouncing ideas off. So yeah, support was number one. Resting is the other one. And there's often in the self-employed world this hustle culture. You have to work 24/7 and be on the pulse all the time, and it's rubbish. So make sure you rest, take holidays, take weekends. Most people are self-employed because they want the freedom that brings. So if you're stuck to your desk or your workshop or wherever you're working all the time and you're not actually living, you're kind of missing the point. And resting helps with productivity, it helps with motivation, it helps with building your resilience. And I'm saying this as a hypocrite because I am exhausted. Yes. And I did.
Let me interject here, because this is an absolute moment of Wilson Williams treasure. In that, Anna says to me, I hope you've had that weekend off. I hope you've had, come on. And, that balance of, when you're in many respects, when you're self-employed, if you don't work, you don't earn. But the whole point is you won't be able to keep going if you're half ruined.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that's a great lesson.
she's summed it up better than I can.
Yeah, my nose. Yes. So I promise all weekend off. Promise.
I'm watching you.
Yes.
My third top tip is planning. So when you're self-employed, it takes effective time management, otherwise it's all going to fall over. So you've got to make sure that the hours you've allocated to work, you've got enough. No, the stuff you need to do fits into the time you've allocated to work. And the method that you will use to make that work, you'll trial and error a whole bunch of different time management techniques. And when I'm done here, I'll pop some blogs in the comments that have got different methods that you can use. And it's taken me a long time to find a method that worked for me, but now it works, and it works beautifully. And I'm not going to sit here and teach you them all, because there are so many different things, and it depends on how your brain works as to which ones work for you. But time management and planning is something that you should absolutely, it's like the core of what you do effectively. Number 4 is delegate. So I know it's a grassroots, start-up, bootstrap, pull up by your bootlaces type thing when you're self-employed, but you can't do everything, so don't even try. This is hypocritical coming from me, because I'm a VA and obviously I want clients and stuff, but the moment you can afford to, delegate even a little bit, even if just your accounts, hire an accountant, or if it's something that you really, really struggle with, get it off your plate, because it will be the best investment that you can make to your business. And on the word of an accountant, is number 5 is your finances. So get them right from day one. Save all your receipts from day one. If you can afford a bookkeeper or an accountant from the early stages of your business, do it. Get it right from the start and go as you mean to go on. Register with HMRC, get your insurance, all the core foundations of being self-employed. And it's not that scary. The word HMRC frightens people. They are lovely. The worst thing they've got, honestly, the worst thing they've got about them is how long you're on hold for, and the fact that their hold music is rubbish. But they are so lovely. If you ring them and you say, look, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't want to get it wrong, can you help me? They will absolutely help you. The horror stories come from people that are deliberately not paying tax and trying to dodge the system. But if you're honest and just say, look, I'm self-employed, I want to do a thing. How do I do a thing? They are more than happy to help you. You just have to swallow their rubbish hold music. And over the last decade, I've worked with businesses in many different stages of their business. So from an idea all the way up to people that make 10K a month. And the one thing I always tell them is give yourself some grace. Nobody is perfect. Thank you. Nobody is perfect, and you're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. And often I find a lot of people will put off doing something until they can do it perfectly. But actually, in most cases, having it done is better than it being perfect. Having it, maybe they're putting off posting on social media because they haven't got the right strategy or the right content, or their image skills aren't quite right. But actually, having something out into the world is better than nothing.
Yes.
There are, of course, some exceptions to the rule, but generally, just having it done is better than it being absolutely perfect. And acknowledging that, yeah, you're going to make mistakes. Wendy's given us a brilliant tip.
Wendy's a musician. This is so lovely.
Oh, are you a music? Oh, try and make lyrics to go with it or sing harmonies. It's very therapeutic. I mean, have you ever heard the HMRC hold music, Wendy? I challenge you to make a song from it.
She could do it. She could do it. And I wonder if you interject about done is better than perfect. I said two things to somebody when I recommended you last week. I said, listen to everything she says. I said, and do it. I said, just do it. That's it. And I then said, without question, that's how much we trust you.
You can overthink things, and you can wait for the right evidence, and you can wait for, the perfect thing. But if something's not working, just change it and try it. You can just trial things, and particularly with social media, unless you make a massive faux pas. Wendy says she's going to have to ring just to hear it. Unless you make a massive faux pas and say something massively offensive, nobody's going to remember what you post on social media. So if you try less hashtags or more hashtags or a different image or less emojis, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to care. And you can post the same thing in a week, and it's very unlikely anybody's going to notice. So just keep trying it. And if you're given advice, particularly by someone who's done the training, put it into practice.
Yes, and also, I think the other thing about perfectionism that also goes with being self-employed is that there'll be some bumps and there'll be some disappointing behaviour.
Yeah.
And the people who succeed are the ones. See, sometimes I'll tell you something, and you've said a couple of times, "How rude," and when you said it was that person's disappointing behaviour was rudeness, it reminded me of my mum. That was really funny. She used to say rude, but when you say that, I think, oh, that's all right then. Somebody else, it's not me who's thinking that I've done something wrong. You think that wasn't okay. And it sort of absolves it a bit, and it's head up and keep going. Learn from
exactly. Head up, keep going, try not to. And it's still something that I struggle with now. So I can often take things quite personally. And in the world of business, nothing is personal. Nobody cares that much. Do you know what I mean? It's about the person behind it, but none of it's personal. If you're not getting interactions on social media, or you're not getting orders, or you're not getting whatever, it's not personal. It's just the climate, the world, isn't it?
And you have a look, Ruth, darling, you'll love this, because everything Anna is saying is applicable to all of life as well.
Yeah.
Ruth's a musician. We have some talented people here today. And Leslie Guy's a fan of fabric too, I must just tell you that. And puppies. So the business of not being too worried about the perfectionism, that's true in life. If we give ourselves an inch of credit, we keep going, we see the goodness, we keep trying. And often when you do a lot of reassuring to your clients, because it's a wobbly road, but lots of people have so much talent within them, and it's the way through.
Absolutely. Number 7 is a fun one. So jazz up your workspace. So you can obviously see this is my office, and I am a massive Sully from Monsters Inc. fan, and they're everywhere. They're all over my office, and it brings me joy. So in my workspace, I'm surrounded by things that make me happy, and this up here is my joy board, and I have a notice board that today says Dr. Rebecca rocks #LifeJoy. So these are all things that bring me happy. So your workspace doesn't have to be boring, whether it's, I don't know, a jazzy mouse pad or some funky post-it notes, or paint your room bright yellow with sunflowers, like whatever it is that you want to do to bring yourself joy, do it. Because I'm sat here for like 9 hours a day. I don't want to be, my walls are white, but that's because everything else is bright blue. So it's having that little bit of joy. I immediately love Wendy now because she loves Sully as well. So she's like my favourite person. I'm conscious of time, so if I'm rattling through, I apologise. Number 8 is set boundaries. So with yourself, with your family, with your world, friends. So a lot of the time when you're self-employed, people are like, oh, do you just want to like come out for coffee? And if you really can't, and if it will be detrimental, or if they want to pop round and you're in the middle of a meeting, you have to say, no, I'm working. But also with number 2, which was rest, if you can, then go out for coffee. It might, if you work half an hour later than you normally would because you went out for a coffee with a friend, then that's fine. But make sure you've got those boundaries. So if you do take time off, you can make it up somewhere else. But just saying, you can't just pop round anytime because I am working, pretend I'm not here. And my husband's terrible for this. He'll be off work and he'll just pop in my office like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm working, go away. And that's, everyone knows Ryan. That's just what he does. But if I was actually like, will you please go away? He has that respect and those boundaries to kind of follow that through, if that makes sense. Tip number 9 is work smarter, not harder. And this is kind of what I said earlier on with utilizing software, apps, AI, technology. Don't be busy for the sake of being busy. So there's whatever problem you've got, there are people like me that can help you, but there are also automating stuff and apps and software. If you put into Google whatever your problem is and follow it up with automation, AI, tool, software, app, there will be something to help you along that thing. And it's not quite as good as having an Anna because I'm brilliant. But you don't get that, support and personal touch, but it's better than nothing. Don't stress about finding social media content when there's things like Social Bee and Post Planner and things like that out there. And then the last one, and again, I struggle with this one too, is routines. So you need diet, exercise, water, sleep, setting your goals, having fixed things that kind of are a constant in your business life. A lot of people go with the thing of, oh, you can work in your pajamas. Yeah, you can, but don't. Get dressed, be a functioning sort of member of life, because otherwise you fall into that thing of what's the blurred difference between work and home. And there's no better feeling than putting your pajamas on at the end of a day. So these are really kind of high level tips for being self-employed, because the nitty gritty tip, the technology, it's very, very personal, and one system might not work for another person. It's very holistic. But all of these tips: support, rest, plan, delegate, finances, grace, jazzy, set boundaries, work smarter, not harder, and routines can be applied whoever you are, whatever you do, whether you're a business owner or not.
That was just magic. And tell us, I've got 2 things to offer. Go and look at Anna's website. Tell us, we'll put the comments down, but you have so many magnificent blogs to help. Even if you're not in business, read what Anna says. That's the first thing. And you write beautifully. You really do. Your prose are like a cool drink. And the other thing is, you've got a nice newsletter to join.
Yes, so you can join. I'll pop the link in the comments. You can join my newsletter and get 25 ways to boost your business. So they are tips that are directly business related. And then you'll get my semi-regular ramblings, which have tips about mindset and tips about technology and ways you can really increase your sales, make more revenue, etc. I also, cheeky plug, have a Facebook group, which is Entrepreneurs Support and Advice Group, which I'll stick in the comments as well. And if you want to chat about your business, message me. We can have half an hour for free. There's no obligation. I don't care if you come to me or not, but if you need support, I'm here.
Gorgeous. And as part of that, you're going to do a takeover day next week in this group, which
I
is
am going to
a whole day of you.
Yes, it's going to be more tips about time management. There's going to be tips about. I have planned this, but my brain's going completely blank. There's some really good stuff.
We've done amazing.
And if anybody wants anything specific covering on Takeover Day, pop it in the comments and I'll make sure that we get you covered. But basically, the long and short of it is you've got an Anna, so use me.
Beautiful. And also briefly, tell us about the things that bring you wider joy in life, because you have a giving soul that has such an impact on the rest of the world. Tell us your talents, because I've mentioned a couple.
Crochet. Do you mean business or life? Life. Crochet, knitting, reading, cross stitch, sewing. The church brings me joy. My animals, gardening. I'm always doing something. I can't sit still. Solid brings me joy.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm creative.
Yes.
So that brings me joy.
And can you briefly tell us about your wool women?
Oh,
and what
part of the program Yarn Bombers, yarnbombers.co.uk, and we spread joy in the community. So we're running a mental health project where we have crocheted little ribbons, which I wish I'd have brought one upstairs with me, and they have anti-suicide hotlines on them, and we've had wonderful stories about how people have rang the hotlines instead of doing something daft. We have worry worms for children. We do postbox toppers. It's all about bringing a little bit pockets of hope within our community.
What a beautiful sentence to finish with. You are a great pocket of hope, and I love having you in my hood.
Thank you so much for having me today, Becca. It's all your stuff's brilliant. It's a joy to be in your group, and it's a joy to be with your people.
Bless you. I know they'll have loved today. So we're looking forward to it. We've got a whole Anna Day next week, and we send you our love, our grace, and you've made our Friday treasure.
Thank you. Leave them with your little prayer.
Oh, lovely. Yes, Gaelic blessing. I found the Gaelic blessing when I was very unwell, and Dad heard it on the radio. So I was like in my teens, late teens, and he memorized it and he typed it up one finger at a time, Papa Naj. And then he printed it off. And then remember, this is like dot matrix printers. It's in the olden days when you were about 3. And he printed it out. He printed it out and he gave it to me. And that was, every now and again he would give me something that was of such profound help that it stopped me being over a cliff with so much illness and so much good. And so the Gaelic blessing was a fundamental part of our family life. He gave me Rudyard Kipling's It, A Thousandth Man, lots of wonderful pieces. But then I've said the Gaelic blessing at every service I've ever taken, apart from the ones who didn't want it, which was only a handful who were a bit cross with God. So I now say it because I think there's something so profoundly beautiful about each layer, because it connects us to ourselves, our world, and to our faith. So may the road rise to meet you, may the wind be at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. God bless, my friends.